Hey, what's going on, everybody? Eat all the birds. This is going to be homemade wood stove part 1. I've got my giant industrial expansion tank. This is from a high-rise building. This is what keeps the this is like a shock arrestor for the domestic water system. As you can see, it's gigantic. It's solid steel. Made in a couple pieces, but it's all steel. It's got a big bladder in the middle of it, which has to go. Now, part 1, I'm going to cut 12 inches of this thing right out of the bottom part of it, of the middle. I'm going to use that as a outdoor fire ring. I've been wanting one of those for some time. And then that'll pretty much be part 1. And part 2, I will be putting it back together, cutting a door in it, and piping a chimney and a vent into it. And it's going to be my wood stove for the workshop out here. So let me get started. I'm going to lay it on its side and cut that middle piece out. We'll see what it looks like inside. Alright, there's the first cut done. As you can see, the tank has become unconjoined, as it were. So one more cut to do. We'll get the fire ring out of it. I'll throw the tank back on the base, what's left of it, and start welding that back together. That'll be part 2. That'll be the indoor wood stove with built-in cooker. You guys will see what's up with that. So anyway, back on the grinder. One more cut to make. See you in a minute. Alright, well, there's that part of it done. Now, I was under the impression that this was 1/8-inch steel, this tank, and I just thought there was a bunch of water left in the bottom of it. Not the case. 1/4-inch steel, completely dry. And man, that took a couple of wheels. Those things are cheap, though. I found those for $1 a piece. Well worth it. So I'm going to throw the top part on the base, get that welded up, cut my door into it, do a couple of tricks. Try to make it as efficient as possible and get that middle piece out into the the back patio area and get the fire ring going. All right, some I guess Eat All the Birds math. 1 discarded expansion tank plus about 13 grinder wheels and 3 hours in the shop equals 1 fire ring and 1 wood stove. Like I said, I gotta run a bead around this thing. The stove part anyway, cut a door in it, pipe it up and out of the shop. I'm going to put it right where that gas can is, ironically. And I have a nice little wood heater and an outdoor pit, which I've always wanted. Stick with me. Alright, well, there we have it. The first stage of the indoor wood stove, homemade wood stove, resulted in an outdoor fire ring. Now that griddle on top, I didn't make that. That was made by my granddad years before he died. He made several of them, kind of passed them out to all the guys in the family. You can see the one stake there. So this thing's fully adjustable, up and down, left and right. You just kind of push it around, find the right temperature that you want. Just one stake holding it up, really nice. I'm starting the long seasoning process. That thing's been sitting in the garage for years without me using it. Work out pretty good. Need a picnic table, maybe a couple of stumps to sit on. Of course, I got to build up the firewood pile pretty big. Really don't have too much right now. A couple of mesquite trees I've found around the neighborhood that needed clearing out. I took advantage of that, but I need some substantial firewood. Craigslist, I suppose. So anyway, thanks for joining me in part 1. Part 2, lots of welding, lots of measuring, lots of cutting, and then installation of the stack or the chimney. And should be pretty awesome. Get that done the next 2-3 weeks or so, and not long after that, Might even be cool enough to where I can use it. So YouTube, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one.